back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around.
Oh, yo. Okay, stretch. I forgot to do this the last time. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. Welcome back. Hopefully that last work session was a productive one for you. Not too bad. I started the post radio show promo stuff, but then again, I got kind of like down this rabbit hole of this project I'm working on, and so, but I got the mailing list stuff, so that's good. And I got to do some social media stuff, and I don't really care about social media, so yeah. But what I do care about is, so I've been working on this new project, right? And it's getting there. And one of the new things, I'm trying a few new things, but for this one, I wanted to be able to create everything online. You know what I'm saying? Like without developing anything locally. So everything, like the coding is done. I push to GitHub repo and that's deployed to a place, but nothing is done locally on my machine. And it's probably a good test because, funny enough, my Chromebook, which I normally code on, it wanted me to update the Linux that's on there. I'm like, all right, cool. But then it didn't update or something. And then like the backup was weird. So I think I basically lost everything that was on my local machine. But I already backed up. I had projects on there that I haven't touched. So they've been backed up to my GitHub repo. So I just have to pull them back down or whatever. So it's not like I lost anything, which is good. But I'm just thinking like, oh, for stuff like this, that could be an issue. So, because what's cool is I'm able to, regardless of whatever like machine I'm on, whatever computer I'm on, I can just, like, if I want to work on the project, I can just go on the computer, open up the browser, go to it, and just work on it, do what I need to do, and then that's it. And so I've been doing that for maybe the past couple of weeks, I think, and, you know, off and on between work and stuff, but it's been working out pretty good. So I figured to take this time and talk about some of the cloud IDEs and things that I've been kind of using and messing around with. So one of them is, so I figured, I looked at their blog post and they had some recent blogs. So I was like, let's go and talk about it because it's pretty cool. So, so it's kind of like the state of things as far as like cloud IDEs and being able to code everything in your browser, which is, to say that is kind of amazing. Like you're coding applications for the browser in the browser and deploying it through the browser as well. Like we live in amazing times and the internet is just getting better and better. And so I kind of wanted to test that out by creating this side project. It's a small project, all within the browser. So pretty cool. And maybe I'll have some updates because I've been running into some issues with some cloud stuff, but got it worked out. So maybe I'll talk about that at some point. But what I want to talk about, I'm going to add the link to this. Let me share my screen. So one of the folks that are doing stuff in like cloud IDEs are StackBlitz. And shouts to StackBlitz. They're doing a lot of cool stuff. And I saw this, their new blog post a few days ago. I'm like, oh, pretty dope. So I figured, why not talk about it? And, you know, maybe you'll check it out as well. Because what I like about a lot of these cloud IDEs, they give you like starters that you can just spin up quickly, right? You just one click and you're in it. And so if there's ever like something you want to try out, you're like a new framework or whatever, instead of having to install everything on your local machine for something that you may not even use, like you can just spin it up in the browser, try it out, see if you like it, build something, you know what I'm saying, with it real quick. And, you know, just testing things, which I really like. You know what I mean? And so that's pretty cool. Allowing people to be able to try things, which I think is always cool, without too much like buy-in, really. You know what I'm saying? Because once you have it like on your local machine, and like, oh, okay, I gotta go delete this, uninstall stuff, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but with this, it's just in the browser, and then if you don't want it, you can like refresh, and it's gone, and it's done, or whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. So, all that to say, I wanted to go over this blog post. Shouts to Tomek Ooh, I don't know how to say where there's like an L with a line through it. Sulkowski, maybe? But yeah, so starters upgrade web containers and Vite. So with let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Let me see. Well, I think they show it in the actual blog post. But what's cool with Stack Blitz is that, like I was saying, you can just like click one thing and you have like a Astro site up and running, like in your browser, or like if you like Angular, Vue, React, like you just spins it up in your browser and you can kind of play around with it, which I think is super dope. So they allow you to do that. So that's the starters. So there's been an upgrade. So web containers and Vite. I think we spoke about web containers previously, so it looks like some newness is happening. All right, so it finally happened. Vite and web containers have pushed us to make significant changes to our starters list. Let me explain. How the Stack Blitz starters started. That's a mouthful. When Stack Blitz first launched in 2017, wow, it seemed like just like yesterday. The primary focus of our experience was what we now call starters. Since then, we have been focusing on providing the fastest, most frictionless jump into code experience possible. Like I said, trying to lower that barrier of entry to be able to just try stuff. Okay. Initially, it was a pretty modest list: Angular, React, and Ionic. However, even providing these three was already an impressive technological achievement. Yeah, because all these just in the browser. You know what I'm saying? So again, no local stuff, just in the browser. These frameworks, although dedicated to the front end, require various tools during development that traditionally you could only run outside of a browser. So like they said, in your local environment, like your local machine, right? But if that's the case, how did Stack Blitz starters allow you to code in the browser? So that was only possible thanks to a custom runtime we built specifically for this purpose. Wow. Okay, so all right. Imagine simplified versions of Webpack and NPM that could run inside a browser tab. That's kind of amazing. But were not very configurable or flexible. Very swift, but custom welded. Okay. We called it engine block. The runtime, while fast and lightweight due to its narrow focus and specialized nature, could only support a limited range of technology. So that's why they only started with those three, I guess. As the list of the starters gradually grew and the underlying frameworks evolved, it required constant maintenance and more custom adjustments. I can only imagine, because I work on some stuff and some people use it, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of things you got to fix. So I can only imagine what they had to go through. So additional drawback was that it didn't exactly mirror the local environment. If you wanted to download and run the project locally, that might not work. Oh, so if you worked on the Angular thing in Stack Blitz previously and you try to download it, maybe it may not have worked locally because they had to do some trickery to make it work in the browser. So it may not work the same in the local machine, which kind of makes sense. And so then this is when they kind of like grew out some more stuff. So this is in 2020. So now web containers, which we've spoken about before, which I think are kind of amazing because it lets you to do all this stuff in your browser. You know what I'm saying? Before it was like you could have like VM and stuff like virtual machines running and things that connected through the browser. But the web containers, it's in the browser. Like it's in your browser. You could refresh and it starts over. It's so, yeah. So in 2021, we introduced web containers, which is a breakthrough, which was a breakthrough. In short, web containers are a micro operating system with their own file system and networking layer, all in the browser. With these foundations, we are now able to run various Node.js tool chains and with minimal or no modifications. Nice. This opened the floodgates, and suddenly we were able to support dozens of new libraries, frameworks, and even new stacks. So they kind of show you all the different things to do here now. Kind of amazing, like all the stuff you can do. So that was in 2023 last year. So now enter Vite. Thanks to the web containers environment, one of the tools that could now run on StackBlitz was Vite. In fact, it was running so well that we built a dedicated experience for the Vite-based projects. We've created a separate starter section just for the official Vite templates and added Vite.new to quickly launch new projects. By the end of 2021, we had made the decision to deepen our commitment to Vite, becoming the official supporter of the project. Nice. We've seen enough. StackBlitz is now the largest backer of Vite. Oh, Okay. Nice. So shouts to them for supporting Veet. Since then, Veet has only grown from 0.5 million weekly downloads when we began our shared journey. You can check out more from this person's post, to a whopping 10 million downloads last week. Wow, 10 million downloads. I couldn't even imagine. That is wild. So Veet is now a de facto standard for starting a whole range of projects in the JavaScript web ecosystem. And it's wild because I remember the time when you had to like set up your Webpack, you know what I mean, and your configurations and had to now with Veet, just everybody's like running off of Veet. It's kind of cool. So in parallel, StackBlitz is fully embracing web containers. We've proven they work fantastically well, and we're building our new editor on that foundation. So a couple of things. So what's changing, right? So they're replacing the custom engine block that they started in like 2017 starters for the JavaScript and TypeScript flavors of the vanilla, React, Vue, and Quick projects with their Veet templates. So they're removing the engine block that was kind of like running those to moving it over to the Veet and that running web containers. Cool. So they've also removed the Veet tab because they had a section that was just like all Veet stuff. You know what I mean? Like they mentioned before. From the starters list, since Veet is now a part of most of these popular stacks, of these most popular stacks. Okay. I wonder if you'll still be able to spin up a Veet project. Maybe not. Okay. And then Angular starter now runs in web containers. Nice. I think that's because I think Angular, the new Angular. So I'm assuming the new Angular, yeah. Because the older ones I think were using Webpack. The newer one, the newer version is using Veet, if I remember correctly. So that's probably why they're able to do that. That's pretty dope. The static starter, a plain, no transpilation, no bundler setup, runs in web containers using a minimalistic dev server. The one they used before, I have to check because they had something similar before. I don't remember if it was server or something. I used it for some projects for work. Cool. So what is changes mean for you? All these projects will closely mirror what you would traditionally create in a local environment, which is super important. Being based on a Node.js toolchain, they work the same way they would on local. Additionally, you will now have access to the terminal no matter if it's front end or back end project, which is dope. That's dope. This allows you to run various POSIX commands, so like npx scripts, for instance, or for instance, execute. Oh, so you can do like ng generate. That's pretty dope in Angular projects. You can read more about the differences in the UI and capabilities of engine block and web containers in our documentation. So they have that link there. So note these changes only impact new projects. So we are not making any changes to the projects you may have already created. Any existing project will continue to work exactly the same way it did previously. So that's cool. So they don't have to worry about breaking anything previously created. So that's dope. And then, so what's next? The JavaScript community is exceptionally vibrant and diverse. Yeah. We've been thrilled to continue growing with it, and we are so proud of that. Our starters reflect that. With over 70 of these entry points to various frameworks, libraries, and other tools, you can click the one you like and just code without having to care about any setup, which is, again, I really appreciate, because for my workshops, I like people to be on the same level. You know what I mean? Because I like coding, and I want everybody to be in the same place. So I don't want to have to worry about what people have installed locally, if it may conflict with this thing or whatever, because then you end up spending a lot of the workshop trying to like bug fix people's machines, right? Well, this, everybody starts in a level playing field, and you can just get started with what you're trying to show folks, which I really appreciate, and it's dope. So the changes we made this week are just the first step. Soon we are releasing our new editor with support for extensions and various other DX improvements. In parallel, we're also working with our open source and enterprise partners on a whole new level of starters capabilities to make the building up for the web even more productive and fun. This year is going to be so exciting. Very nice, very nice. So again, shouts to Tomek, founding engineer and DevRel at StackBlitz. Nice. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna get y'all back to work. So that's super dope. So have you tried StackBlitz or anything? You know what I'm saying? Let me know, because I've been I that's like one of my first go-tos. Like if I want to try something real quick and it's like a GitHub repo or whatever, or even if it's just one of the starters, uh, or like, well, I've been using both. So sometimes I'll just spin up something real quick if I want to try something, or if there's something I wanted to like test out and there's like a GitHub repo for it, I'll just pull it into. Depends. There's a bunch of different things. Depends on what's required from the GitHub repo or whatever. But I kind of like pull it in, test it out, see it running like in the browser, see if it works, and then make any changes based on that. But yeah. So because especially like the way I work, I spin up so many different like random projects to try things out that like trying to do all that locally and then going back through and seeing stuff, it gets to be a lot. And it stores a lot of like node modules take up a lot of space on my Chromebook. You know what I mean? And so being able to kind of just do it in the browser, super dope. So yeah, so I was curious, anybody else has any experience with it, I'm saying, coding in the cloud, please let me know, hit me up. And yeah, totally clicked the wrong button. I meant to do this one. All right, so I'm gonna get y'all back to work because I want to get back to work and there's stuff I want to get done. So I'm gonna send y'all off with some traveling music. This is Anthony Cruz, aka A Butta. The track is called Thank You. Thanks for hanging out. See you 15 minutes after the hour for, wow, I can't believe this is gonna be like the final breaks session coming up next. Wow, time's going by super quick. And we'll take a look at an artist's website, maybe listen to music, watch some videos, and maybe you'll become a fan as well. All right, so again, thanks for hanging out. This is Anthony Cruz, aka Butta. Thank you. Y'all be easy. Peace.
I want to say thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out. Now I feel so strong, and I want to say thank you for being there when a brother had nowhere to turn to. You were there, and I feel like there, and everybody says there. We spread love like there. I want to say thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out.